And I tell them all the time, we don't have a magic pill here. We're just trying to convince you to believe in yourself.
Hello, my name is Tyreek Davidson. I'm a junior currently attending Indiana University, and I was a member of Unite Incorporated's 2019 high school graduating class. Unite has impacted me in more ways than I can even speak through. Like, it's done volumes for me. It's helped me become the man I am today. And I just thank Dr. Smith, Ms. Precious Jordan, Ms. Tyndall, and Ms. Chastity Foreman for everything they've done for me. One memory that just sticks out for me with Unite is I remember going into my senior year of high school. Dr. Smith sat me down and he talked to me about how I had to stop leaning on my parents for a crutch because that was something I really had a problem with, how that was going to affect me in the future. And I could really say that made me have a different outlook on my life and all the decisions I made. And that's allowed me to make better decisions in the future and allowed me to be more of an independent person. And instead of just calling on my parents every day, trying to figure it out myself, and he allowed me to get into that man role that I needed to be and talk to me as if he was my big brother. And I really appreciate that for him because I know, like, without the guidance he gave me during those years in Unite, I wouldn't be where I am today. So thank you, Dr. Smith.
Wow. So one of the biggest changes I see with the students that engage with us or go through our college prep program is really their confidence and their ability to believe in themselves. And I tell them all the time, we don't have a magic pill here. We're just trying to convince you to believe in yourself and put in the work while you're believing in yourself. And so that's one of the biggest changes. Our students come back and tell us, hey, Dr. Smith, I believe in myself. Like, it was in me the entire time. Thinking about how our students come into themselves and how each student is unique. We don't have a cookie cutter approach. We take each individual student and we identify what they need. And then from there, we work with them to get to where they want to go. And so that's the biggest thing I would say we see with our students is just their increase in self-worth and an increase in motivation and self-esteem. We take students on a college tour during spring break, and it's a week long. We leave on Monday and we come back on Saturday. And so the students for the first time are able to see different historically Black colleges and universities across the nation. And that's one of my biggest accomplishments with Unite, being able to see their faces when they land on these campuses. And so we have two legs of the tour. We go from Atlanta to Washington, D.C., and we end with a tour of the White House. And for most of these students, this is their first time in Washington, D.C. And so they're able to explore the White House, explore the MLK Monument, explore the National Mall. And so just being able to expose our students to things that they wouldn't typically see in the state of Alabama. And so the other side of the tour is Alabama to Texas and down back through Florida. And so students experiencing this tour really visit about 15 to 20 HBCUs over the span of 5 days. I do have a really interesting success story. The very first HBCU college tour, we were on the campus of Hampton University. It was our final stop with the HBCU college tour. And we were getting ready to leave. And so we finished the campus tour. We walk into the office of admissions, and then the admissions director immediately looked at one of my basketball players. His name is Trayvon Barnes. Now, I'll never forget. She looks at Trayvon and she says, "How tall are you?" And he looks down and he says, "I'm 6'8". She looks up and was like, "Wow." And she was like, "Are you an athlete?" He's like, "Yes, ma'am. I play basketball." We're from Alabama, so we say, "Yes, ma'am," "No, ma'am," "Yes, sir," "No, sir." She was like, "Hold 1 second. Can y'all come into my office?" Trayvon and I walk into her office. She was like, "Hey, can you pull up some highlights of yourself on YouTube?" He pulled the highlights up. She starts looking. She's like, "Oh, you're really good." He's like, "Yes, ma'am. We just won a state championship." She was like, "Oh, did you all?" So she immediately picks up the phone and calls the basketball coaches. They're at the barbershop because they're getting ready to head out to the NCAA tournament. They come over, they talk to us. Before we got back to Alabama, they called his parents and they gave him a full offer. Fast forward 5 years, he graduates. and now he's playing professional basketball overseas. So to think about that one trip that changed the life of not only this individual, but our community, because Trayvon became a staple of the community where students looked up to him. I'm so blessed that he accepted the invite to come on a tour. He came and the rest was history. And so now he's gonna be changing lives with basketball and generational wealth for his family.